Life Best to me is ultimately a song about love. It was written during a really tough time personally in my life, and I felt like my family was falling apart and I felt really alone in what was going on. But after writing the lyrics and realizing all the love and support I had from my friends and my family, that you don't have to go through those situations alone. And that's kind of what I wanted to bring out through the writing of this song. Born to Make a Sound is a song about determination and perseverance. It's a really energetic rock song that hopefully will just get you pumped up and motivated. This song, the lyrics, I think tell a good story that will hopefully act as like words of encouragement to anyone going through any sort of tough time. The chorus says, "I won't give up even when I've fallen down. I'm strong enough to fight back even when I've hit the ground." So I think those words are just really strong, and I feel like anybody can relate to them. It's just a reminder to get back up and keep trying. Tonight I'm Letting Go is a song about letting go of the things that hold you back. It was one of the first songs that we wrote on the album. It was actually the first song that we ever played live. We played it at our 5-year anniversary party back in September, and that was just kind of a way to get people's reaction to our new sound. But I really like this song. I think it just teaches us to only keep the things in our lives that make us happy. A lot of times we hold on to the past or just baggage, or continue to do things that we think we need to do even if they're not making us happy. So it's just kind of a song to remind you to look into those things and ask yourself, are you doing what makes you happy? And if not, just let it go. Running Away was a song that I wrote when we had this summer off just to write and record and get ready for the new album. And so I got really into running, and I was listening to all the songs on my iPod, and it was crazy how many rock albums I had on there that didn't really have a song that you could just run to. And so that's kind of where I guess I got the inspiration to write it, because I wanted a song that just had that driving force behind it, that you could put on and just go. But it's also, a meaningful song about just kind of starting over, and not being afraid to. And so it's definitely one of the fun ones to play, and definitely one of the more upbeat songs to play live. Bottles is by far the most personal song on the album. It was written during a really tough time for my family, and it goes out to anybody who has had to deal with addiction in their family, and not just addiction, but the cycle of addiction and how it goes from generation to generation. It's definitely kind of a tough one for me to sing on stage, but ultimately I get into that song because there's just so much passion and so much emotion in every lyric of that song. So when we play it live, there's this really cool halftime feel at the end of the song that just hits you in your heart. And we went through a million revisions of the song in the studio, and I'm so glad that it ended up the way that it did, just starting out really stripped down with acoustic guitar, and that's how we play it live. It's just, I want people to kind of stop what they're doing at the bar or wherever they are and just pay attention, that this is a song that you need to hear. Skin and Bones actually came about after I watched this documentary about human trafficking. It's pretty heavy subject matter. And then I was reading this book that dealt with like arranged marriage, and I have my friend Ashley, who works in domestic violence prevention, has been like really inspiring to me, just to help me to see this, huge issue that's going on that really isn't talked about very much. And so I wanted to write a song that brought light to all of, the suffering. I want that song to be an anthem for them. Gasoline is a song about a love-hate relationship. It's about loving something so much that thing ends up being the one thing that hurts you the most as well. So I feel like the lyrics really describe it well. The chorus, which says, "You're gasoline, you're fire and smoke, you're the air that I breathe and the reason I choke. You can light a match or just let it go. You're the poison in my lungs and my only antidote. You're gasoline and we're about to explode." I feel like those lyrics really describe that feeling that you have when, that person is the air that you breathe, the thing that you need the most, but they're also the thing that, can drive you crazy and make you sick. The Great Unknown is a short little interlude that we put as the last missing piece on the album. We were listening to all the masters in the studio. We thought it was going to be the last night working in the studio, and I just told Kyle, our producer, I don't feel like it's done. I feel like there's just one more thing we needed to add. And I was reflecting on how this album had, taken us really 2 years to put together, and we've gone through so much during those 2 years, and we've lost a lot of important people in our lives, including Roy's mom to breast cancer, my grandma to cancer, and about a month before us finishing the album, my friend Rich, who passed away. And so I wrote these lyrics, not really think they'd be on the album, but I sang them to the band and our producer, and everyone really liked it. So I just hopped in the studio. It was like 2 a.m, hopped in the vocal booth, and John got on the keyboard, and we just wrote it right then and there in about 20 minutes. I think the lyrics in this song help to tell the story of, someone in love who's desperate to, for the other person to reciprocate that, and that other person isn't reciprocating. And so they finally gotten to that point where it's like, give me the love I deserve, or just leave me and don't keep me hanging on like this. I think we've all been there, and, sometimes it's hard to put into words how I feel or how I see, my friends feeling in that situation. So I hope that this song really helps to tell that story. Let Me In Again is a song that to me was written as God speaking to us. He's constantly trying to show us his love, and we're constantly pushing him away. And so it's a song, let me love you, let me in again. I've been waiting, trust me, take my hand. And a lot of times I feel like, even people who don't believe in God, they know that there's something bigger out there. They know that there's more to life than just this. And it's a scary thought. And so I feel like a lot of us just kind of ignore that thought and try to put it somewhere away until something huge happens, like you lose a loved one, somebody dies, some tragic thing happens, and it forces us to remember that there's something bigger out there, and there's more to life than just what we see in the world around us. So this song can be, hopefully relatable to anyone in any situation, but for me it's just a reminder that God is there and he loves us, and he just wants us to open ourselves up to him so that we can receive that love and in turn that happiness and that comfort that comes along with it. Chances was one of the last songs that we put on the album. We just thought it would be fun to put a song on the album that sort of describes what we've gone through as a band. I feel like a lot of people who maybe have just heard of us now don't realize that we're not a new band. We've been going at this now for almost 6 years. And through that time, we've learned so much about ourselves and so much about each other, and just about, you know, how lucky and blessed we are to be able to do what we do. But it doesn't come easy. It's definitely been a struggle, and it's been the labor of love. It's something you have to absolutely love doing in order to, you know, sleep on people's floors and live in a van for months at a time, and just go without the usual comforts of home. So this song, I think, just tells about our journey as the Material and what we've been through, and it's really chanty and fun. I think the lyrics are almost like a scrapbook of everything that we've done, and hopefully will inspire people to do the same thing.